Dynamic Forms has been one of the most asked for features in Salesforce for a long time, and it's finally here with Winter 23. I wanted to put together a quick video to show you how to activate it and how to use it. So here we are in Salesforce, and the first thing I want to do is show you how generally we would make changes to a page layout. So I'm going to go to my cogwheel here, I'm going to Setup, and then I'm going to click on Object Manager, and I'm just going to pick an object here. So I'm going to go to Contact and click on Contact. On the left hand side here, I'm going to click on Page Layouts, and we're going to be able to see all the page layouts for my contact object in this new dev org that I've just created. So if I click on my contact layout here, if I scroll down, I'm now able to see my page sections, for example, contact information, address information, additional information, and then within these sections, I'm able to see all the fields that I want to display within this page layout. And if I want to add or remove fields, I'll have to do that from here. So for example, if I want to remove the birthday field, I'll have to sort of use this clunky UI and kind of hover over it and then click on this little minus button here to remove it. And then if I wanted to add a field back to the page, I have to use this component up here and search for the field that I want and then drag and drop with this other kind of clunky UI and sort of pick the right line and then drop it there and hope that it lands where I actually want it to land. And then when I'm done, I have to save, and you get this kind of old school loading bar, and it's all a bit old school really. But with Dynamic Forms, they have changed that. So now we can do that from the app, from the Lightning App Builder. So let me show you that. If I go back to Salesforce on the front end, and if I go to my contacts object, and then if I just go into a contact record, I'll go into the details tab, and this is where we're able to see how our current fields are displayed. So this is out of the box, and this is how it's being displayed at the moment. So if I want to make changes to this, I don't have to go to the back end anymore to page layouts and do what I just showed you. Now I can use Dynamic Forms, but first I have to activate it. So to do that, we want to go into the cogwheel, and we want to go into that object's Lightning page. So I can just click on Edit Page here, and this is going to bring me to the Lightning App Builder. Now in the Lightning App Builder, you want to find the record details component, wherever that might be. In this case, mine is under the details tab, and then if I click here, this is the record detail component that we're using. So on the right hand side, we now have this prompt to upgrade this component to the Dynamic Forms. So I go ahead and click there, and we get this widget coming up that essentially takes us through this upgrade. So we click Next, and then here we're able to select the page layout that we want to upgrade. So go ahead and click on the contact layout. This is the one that we're using for the demo, and we click Finish. Now this has upgraded to the Dynamic Forms. So what we're seeing here, this is the new Dynamic Forms functionality. So straight off the bat, what we can see is at the moment we have this field section highlighted. So on the right hand side, just like you normally would use Lightning App Builder anyway, on the right hand side you have this sort of details and any functionality, any changes that you can make to the component that you have selected. So here, for example, I can change the label of this component, of this field section. I can also choose whether I want one column or two columns. Like at the moment we have two columns here next to each other. I can also align the fields horizontally, which is really good because sometimes your fields don't quite align really well, and so now there's this functionality too. And of course I can add a component visibility to it as well. So if I only want certain field sections to be displayed based on different criteria, I can use that visibility filter here too. So what I want to do is I just want to show you how you would go about making changes to this. So if I just zoom in a little bit so you can actually see, you see this little plus button here on the top of the field section. If I click there, it's going to allow me to just create a new one. But first what we want to do is on the left hand side where we see components and we see fields, we want to go to the Fields tab now. And this is going to give us some more functionality for the Dynamics Forms, because we're not really adding different components to this page. We're actually using the Dynamics Forms within the Lightning App Builder. So here, for example, I can add a new field section, and I can add new fields as well. So if I wanted to add new fields to my page, I can just drag and drop them here And I don't have to keep going to the back end anymore, to the page layout and using that sort of clunky UI. I can do everything from here. But let's say I want to add a new field section. Instead of dragging and dropping, what I can do is I can click on this little plus icon here. And if you notice on the right hand side, it now says click a component in the components panel to add it to the highlighted insertion point. And so what we can do is we can just click on the field section, and this will automatically add that new field section to us on the page layout. So you don't always have to drag and drop. You can if you want, but sometimes that's a little clunky. Now you can just select, before you add anything to the page, the exact position that you want that new component to go into and add it this way, which makes things a lot easier. And it works the same way with fields. So for example, here on the left hand side, I have my list of fields, and say I want to add a field right on top of the name field here. Instead of dragging and dropping and trying to land the field where I want it to go, I can just click on this little plus icon here. And now any field that I click on will be added to that position. So if I click on this do not call field, that's going to be added right where I clicked. And so that kind of eliminates that dragging and dropping clunkiness, I suppose, where you're trying to land on that specific bit of the page and it doesn't quite work, and then you have to move things around. To be honest, it gets a bit annoying. With this new functionality, you don't have to worry about that anymore. And just whilst we're here as well, with certain fields, depending on whether they're custom or standard, you do have some UI behaviors that you can change. So with this do not call field, for example, I have some UI behaviors that I can change here, whereby I can make it read only if I wanted to. And of course I can add some visibility filters to it as well. Yeah, the birthday field. So if we look on the right hand side, we have a UI behavior. We can make it read only, but we can also make it required. And that's pretty cool. So you can make fields required using this functionality as well. And then of course, when you're done and you finish making your changes, you can always go back and continue making changes to the rest of your Lightning page. For example, if you want to start changing the related lists or anything else, you can do all of that in the same place. And when you finish, hit save, activate the page, and there you go. You can make all the changes that you want in this one single place. That's really, really cool functionality from Salesforce. This is an idea that's been in the making for a long, long time. It's gotten many upvotes in the idea exchange, and they're finally delivering it, and I'm really, really happy to try it out. Give it a go and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.